You can feel the disconnect in this passage. Here's our Lord. He's on his way to Jerusalem. This is Mark's gospel. It's more than halfway through. Some of them are amazed that he's going up. Others are very afraid. They can feel in the depths of their being that something is off. And we know he's heading to Jerusalem for his passion. And he begins to openly speak about it. We are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man, who is obviously him, will be handed over to the chief priests, the scribes. They will condemn him to death. Look how specific he is. Hand him over to the Gentiles, so you think the Romans, who will mock him, spit upon him, scourge him, and put him to death. And 3 days later, he's going to rise. Super specific. He does this in Mark's gospel 3 times, and undoubtedly, in reality, he probably said it even more. The disconnect is the very next line. Something as stark and jarring as that statement from our Lord, and then the next line says, James and John came to Jesus and said, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask of you." I mean, talk about tone deaf. Talk about tone deaf. And our Lord engages. Oh my gosh, there's so much we could talk about here. Our Lord engages them with so much patience. Rather than say, do you not care at all about me and the fact that I just said that I'm going to suffer and die and all these other things? He just says, well, what would you have me do for you? Could you imagine the self-control? I love him. I really do. And then they said, grant that we may sit one at your right and the other at your left. And here's the rub, okay? This is the part I want to get to. You do not know what you are asking. Who sits at the right and of the left of Jesus? Now he says, can you drink the chalice that I'm going to drink? So putting those things together, think of the cross. There are 2 thieves, to his left and to his right, in the midst of dying horrible deaths. And the chalice that he drinks is the vinegar that's put in a sponge and shoved into his mouth at the hour of his greatest agony. This is what he's heading to. This is what his glory is. Remember at the Last Supper when he says, Father, glorify your Son. He's talking about his passion. And here, James and John are saying, grant that in your glory we may be on your right and on your left. If they knew that's what that was going to look like, do you think they would have asked for that? And yet we know that that is necessary. It's ugly, it's wretched, it's torturous, it's also beautiful, incredible, the outpouring of the greatest love the world has ever known, and utterly necessary. None of us would say to him, get off that cross. We need him there. And yet at the same time, do you not tremble when you look at it? You do not know what you are asking. I think we really don't know what we're asking when we baptize our children. When we baptize our children, or when we ask for baptism, we are going to the Lord and saying, I want a sip of the chalice that you have drunk from. I want a participation in the mystery of your mission so that I may share in your life. Do we know what we are asking? Because that's going to mean total consecration of oneself. That's why the minister anoints the infant in the same way that this building was anointed when it was dedicated to God. This house belongs to God. This body and soul composite belongs entirely to God. And in that moment, all authority over one's life is handed over to God to do with as he pleases. And what is his pleasure is love, but love has been revealed like a crushed grape from which the wine of salvation spills forward for the nations. It means the entire orientation of my life is now other-oriented to the extent that it will consume me. And all of my breath, every beat of my heart exists for this sole purpose, to reveal the face of the Father into a world that hates him and as a consequence will reject me. And I'm asking for that? You asked for that for your children? Do you really understand? Now, I don't want anybody to be deterred. That's why I say this is also necessary. This is also beautiful. Because what is the alternative? The alternative is the path of the serpent who rebelled against God, said, I actually don't want a share in any of this. And because of this, he's so disfigured, he's the force of so much death and destruction in the world. And guess what? He's in pain too. So suffering is unavoidable, but one has the option of giving life. The other one will only advance death. At whose side do you want to sit?